Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey that's a bit different for us.
Yeah, definitely. No dense reports this time.
Exactly. We're stepping away from the usual academic stuff to look into a really heartfelt personal narrative. We've got excerpts from The Children of the Ashes by Subra Chakraborty. It's a pretty fascinating look at life in India, all through the eyes of this young student, Arjun.
It really is.
So our mission, basically, for this deep dive is to unpack the surprising truths, the insights hidden in this personal story.
Right.
We'll explore things like, everyday bureaucracy, the challenges of dealing with these complex systems.
And how resilience, connection, even love kind of emerge from really absurd situations.
That's it.
And what's really compelling, I think, is how this personal story becomes a lens, right? A way to understand these much broader societal experiences.
Totally.
We'll be looking at how the author uses these individual anecdotes, Arjun's experiences, to illuminate these really universal feelings: frustration, hope, determination, things we can all sort of relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, let's dive right in. Arjun kicks things off with a scene that feels, well, quintessentially Indian.
The cue.
The queue,
Ah.
specifically a really chaotic one outside Jadavpur University, highly competitive place. And get this, 500 candidates were called for just 17 seats.
17, just imagine the pressure.
Right. You can almost feel the tension, the sheer unlikelihood of it all.
And this scene immediately sets the stage, doesn't it? For the book's core themes, the fight for fairness, the impact of these systemic hurdles.
Yeah.
Arjun points out what he calls the absurdity, seeing people with negative marks.
Negative marks, meaning they scored less than 0.
Exactly. Yeah. Getting in because of reserved quotas, those spots set aside by the government for specific groups.
Right.
While he, Arjun, actually passed, ranked 134 out of 205, but was left stranded.
Wow.
It really throws into question what merit even means in that kind of system.
Yeah.
It's less about your score,
Yeah.
more about navigating this really complex web.
He really expands on this idea of waiting, doesn't he? Calling cues India's national heritage.
He does. It's quite a phrase.
It paints such a vivid picture. Birth certificates, school admissions, ration shops, gas cylinders, train tickets. He says people spend half their lives in line.
And the other half complaining someone cut ahead.
Exactly. And he even jokes like, will there be a queue at heaven's gates?
With a celestial clerk yelling, "Form 32A is missing, come back tomorrow."
It's such a specific, kind of darkly funny take on it all.
It really is.
And it's right there in this chaos that he first sees Meera.
Yeah, the first encounter.
And it's almost comical, isn't it? He realizes he's clutching the wrong form, the hostile accommodation one, not the attendance sheet.
A classic bureaucratic mix-up. So relatable.
But it leads to that first interaction. She actually hands him a photocopy of the right form.
Which he says looked like it had been through a war.
Oh, yeah.
But even that small thing, that mundane mistake, it kind of underscores a bigger point, doesn't it? Well, in a system seemingly built on delay and frustration, these simple acts of kindness, like Meera just handing him the form, they become these moments of, unexpected connection.
Ah, right.
Their shared experience of this bureaucratic absurdity creates this immediate, maybe subtle but real bond.
Okay, I see that. And the theme of delay, it just ramps up from there, right? It goes beyond just cues.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He tells us about the Presidency University entrance exam, the PUB-DET, super important test.
Pretty sure, yeah.
The results were postponed, not once, not twice.
5 times.
5 times. Pushed back eventually by 3 whole months. He took it in May, results due in August.
That's not just a minor hiccup, It really shows how pervasive this administrative inefficiency is. Arjun even jokes that postponed has become like a default setting in India.
Like reply later on WhatsApp.
Exactly. And this constant delay, it causes huge frustration for students, especially with that societal pressure against taking a drop year.
Right, that year off between school and uni. He says it's seen almost like a crime against civilization.
Which is intense pressure.
But this frustration, it leads somewhere unexpected. He needs to keep up, in this race for imagined stardom of knowledge.
So he joins a coaching class.
Right, and who does he find there? Buried in a massive H.K. Das Maths textbook.
Meera, again.
Meera. This second meeting really cements her presence in his life, doesn't it? It's like a strange comfort, finding someone else in the same boat.
And she says that line, "We're all in this together." Simple, but kind of profound in that context.
Yeah.
And it's striking how this shared struggle, this adversity, it really forges these unique bonds.
You mean between Arjun and Meera?
Yeah. His feelings for her, he describes it as a sharp ache, like someone had poked me with a compass needle.
Ouch. Straight from the geometry box.
Right. But those feelings are so tied up with these shared bureaucratic nightmares, their connection isn't some fairy tale romance.
No, it's born out of mutual understanding in this system that often feels like it's trying to beat you down.
Exactly.
And the delays just keep stacking up. Next, it's the court system.
Ah, yes. Tariq Pay Tariq.
Date after date. This endless cycle of postponements. He's there with his dad over a helmet, fine.
Which they'd already paid.
Already paid, but now it shows as $2,500 due, and it's apparently earning compound interest.
While his bank's giving him, what, 2.5%? The irony.
The absurdity just keeps mounting.
And this really deepens our understanding of the systemic challenges people face. You see the judge arriving 90 minutes late.
Lawyers scrambling around, begging for adjournments.
And then, bam, there's Meera again, sitting 2 benches away.
waiting on her scholarship case, which is held up by a stay order.
It's just such a vivid picture of how personal lives get completely stuck in this procedural mud. Small things drag on for years, affecting futures.
But even in that frustrating setting, there's this shared moment.
A half smile.
Yeah. When the judge tells off a lawyer, only to adjourn the case anyway. It's not happiness, he says, but a shared sigh disguised as a smile.
That unspoken recognition. They both just get the absurdity without needing to say anything.
Exactly. And then the kicker. The truly wild part.
Go on.
Arjun's lawyer. He's the judge's ex-husband.
No, seriously.
Seriously. Tariq P., personal vendetta, he calls it. His legal fate caught up in someone else's post-divorce drama.
Wow. Just, wow. You couldn't make it up.
Right. So the story keeps weaving this thread of love, or budding love, through all this chaos. He describes a typical monsoon day. Starts normal, then suddenly it's an ambush. Soaks him completely before he gets to his tuition class.
Classic monsoon surprise.
And classes are canceled, extreme weather. And who does he find huddled there with other soggy, miserable students?
Let me guess. Meera.
Meera, of course. Dripping and defeated.
So it's another one of those serendipitous crossings, right? Thrown together by external forces again.
Yeah, and the setting shifts to this tiny, leaky Chaiwala's stall.
The tea vendor, often portrayed as these sort of wise street figures.
Right, he calls this one an oracle who's seen everything. And the stall is like an island of warmth against the storm.
A little refuge.
Yeah.
It becomes the significant backdrop for them, doesn't it? A moment of quiet amidst the noise.
Totally. And the Chaiwala is just observing them. Arjun tries to play it cool, act all stoic, sipping his tea.
And burns his tongue.
Burns his tongue on the scalding tea, and Meera laughs. Not loud, he says, but this sudden, muffled giggle that just sticks in his memory. Like a photo.
And that raises a question, doesn't it? How did these tiny human moments, a shared laugh over something silly, become so important when everything else is so dysfunctional?
Yeah, it's like they grab onto those moments.
It highlights how people carve out normalcy, find joy, even in the most unlikely spots. And the Chaiwala's comment?
Oh yeah, the oracle speaks.
Cases and love stories in India are the same. Both take years, and usually end in compromise.
Oof. That's quite a take. Adds this layer of almost philosophical insight, right? Hinting at the long, drawn-out nature of everything there. So their connection starts to deepen, helped along by the tuition mafia.
Which is his term for that whole network of coaching classes and tutors, right?
Yeah, and the holy temple of teenage networking.
The class WhatsApp group.
The WhatsApp group. He texts Meera when she misses class. She replies, tells him her best friend's going through a tough breakup.
So it opens up a more personal channel.
Exactly. Leads to late-night chats, sharing jokes, secrets, and eventually the not a date but totally a date invite to Rolls.
Rolls, the place known for college couples studying.
That's the one. So this whole part really shows how even when you feel trapped in a system that seems designed to just wear you down,
human connection finds a way. Affection persists.
Yeah, their relationship isn't just surviving despite the chaos.
In many ways, it's formed because of it, finding warmth and understanding in that shared absurdity.
Right. So this big not a date to Rolls, it starts off kind of cute, right? Arjun tries his hand at being romantic.
The Hollywood teen film attempts.
Yeah. Including some really, really bad Shakespeare. He tries quoting Macbeth about trees and shade.
Oh dear. How did that go down?
Mira just laughed, said he sounded like her old English teacher.
Perfect. Genuine laughter, that's always good.
Totally. But just as they're getting close to Rolls, bang, reality crashes in.
The mood shifts dramatically.
Yeah. emerged protest, clashing banners, drums beating, police whistles.
And then a lassie charge, the police baton charge.
Right, so it goes from this kind of awkward teen movie moment straight into, like, a documentary on urban chaos.
That juxtaposition is really stark, their private moment versus this massive public disruption.
And instinctively, Arjun grabs Mira's hand. He notes her fingers felt soft, small, almost fragile.
A protective instinct kicking in.
Yeah, and they just dart through the chaos, pass overturned rickshaws. They head for the railway station.
Boats locked.
Locked. So where do they end up?
Back the Chaiwalas.
Back at the Chaiwala, sharing samosas on a broken bus stop bench.
Wow. That image, the samosa grease, the broken bench, it's so grounded.
It really is.
And it brings up that question again. How do people hold on to intimacy, that connection, when their daily lives are constantly slammed by this wider unrest?
Right.
Those details, the grease-stained fingers, the broken bench, they become symbols of their resilience, right? Their immediate reality. Their personal moment somehow manages to exist, even transcend the chaos around them. Makes it feel even more real.
Yeah, definitely. And then the story jumps to legal affairs.
Where their romance itself gets tangled in the system.
Exactly. It becomes registered in some dust-choked municipal file because of family disputes.
Which sadly is a very real thing in India, right? Personal relationships, especially if they cross class or family lines, can easily get caught up in legal battles, property disputes.
Turning private matters into public record, Arjun calls it a battlefield where our teenage romance was now registered. Every glance had subtext about court injunctions.
And that quote, Cupid had been replaced by clerks, roses by rubber stamps?
So powerful. It just shows how even love gets swallowed by the bureaucracy.
Turning affection into paperwork.
And Arjun reflects on this paradox of India. Bad roads and broken dreams, yet billboards of bullet trains. Justice delayed, yet injustice delivered instantly.
That constant contradiction.
He wonders, was India always this chaotic circus? Or was his earlier innocence just something he, outgrew? An opiate, he calls it.
That's a heavy thought.
Yeah. So fast forward, 3 months into knowing Meera, Arjun's still waiting, this time for the WBJE results.
Another big state entrance exam.
His future still hanging in limbo like a paper boat on a clogged drain.
Great image.
But then it's Durga Puja. He calls it the Festival of Pending Dreams.
A major festival.
They're at Hiratola Dhat watching the sunset over the Ganga River, very atmospheric, and he asks Meera, what does this festival mean to her?
And her answer is quite profound, isn't it? About the idols.
Yeah, they're made, worshipped with so much devotion, and then immersed in the river.
Like a promise that even endings are beginnings. That cyclical nature.
Exactly. And that gives Arjun this backdrop for his own realization. He thinks, we're all children of the ashes, burnt by delays, reborn by hope.
Wow.
He says, every time this country breaks us, we find a way to rebuild. We have no choice but to.
That's such a powerful statement of, inescapable, defiant resilience. Finding meaning even in the breakdown.
Yeah. And that moment, filled with these heavy truths, flickering lanterns floating up, it leads to their first kiss. Just a quiet, honest moment. He says he felt truly alive for the first time in months, not just waiting anymore.
A breakthrough.
But even as their personal connection deepens, the wider system is still doing its thing.
Introducing new controls.
Yeah, more insidious stuff. Those cues he hated, they start to feel connected to something darker. This new income tax bill.
Allowing surveillance of WhatsApp, Bitcoin, location data, all without needing a judge.
Okay. Right. He calls it a police state with better internet, where privacy isn't a right, it's an expiry date.
Chilling. And it raises another important question. How does that personal connection survive? How does it even become a form of quiet protest in a system that's increasingly watching, increasingly unresponsive? And Arjun finds his own answer, right? His protest isn't about grand gestures anymore.
No, he says it's not about broken systems or blind odds anymore, but about closing the space between her hand and mine.
Defining revolution in that small, intimate act. That's powerful.
It really is. Which leads us to this real climax in Arjun's journey.
A monologue in class.
Yes, in Mr. Mukherjee's class. Just before Meera is supposed to leave for Delhi, the teacher's going on about respecting the system, saying without it there's no fairness.
And Arjun just snaps.
Snaps like a match on dry hay, the book says. He just erupts.
And this is where he really lets loose, right? His core insight, unfiltered.
Totally. He argues passionately that merit isn't respected. It's throttled, gagged, and drowned out by the roaring politics of reservation.
He points to those students with negative scores getting into top institutions.
While deserving ones are left in limbo. And the sheer number of quotas, SC, ST, OBC.
Those are the specific demographic categories: scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes.
Right, plus Kashmiri migrants, sports quota, Olympiads. He feels it just breeds exclusion.
Saying the playing field feels rigged.
Yeah, your marks weren't the problem, your birth was. That's a direct quote.
Oof, heavy stuff.
And he connects it to real-world corruption. Neat paper leaks.
That's the big medical entrance exam. Always controversial.
Job scams, the OBC admission racket, and the tragic results. Friends hanging from ceiling fans, not because of pressure, he insists.
But because of system failure. Corruption does, delay does, betrayal does. That's what he says causes it.
Exactly. And he slams the hypocrisy of politicians preaching study in India.
While their own kids are studying abroad.
Right. And then his big declaration, we, the unspoken, the uncategorized, the unprivileged, we are the children of the ashes.
Moving from his personal frustration to this collective identity, a shared identity of resilience. It's a huge shift.
It is, transforming his own pain into this universal cry for recognition.
Yeah.
And then the final punchline is just brilliant.
Good one.
Ashes, sir, do not mean the end. Ashes are proof that something once burned. Ashes are memory. Ashes are fuel. And from ashes rises fire, rises a phoenix.
Wow. What a statement. Hope, defiance, rebirth, all rolled into one. Even when things seem broken, there's this potential for something new to rise.
Exactly. So our deep dive kind of wraps up with Meera leaving for Delhi.
A moment of mini heartache for Arjun.
Yeah. And where are they for this farewell?
Let me guess. The Chaiwala stall.
Of course. The Chaiwala's stall. And the train, the Sampark Express, is 3 hours late.
Naturally. A curse and a gift, he calls it.
Mm.
More waiting, but more time together.
Right. And this final waiting room scene, it ties everything together, doesn't it? The delays, the waiting.
But it also shows how they've learned to find meaning in that waiting. They've adapted.
Yeah. The simple act of making instant noodles together there, arguing about too much spice.
He says it's not cinematic romance, but real, fragile, ordinary, and steady.
It's such a beautiful image of finding stability, finding truth, right in the middle of all the chaos.
It really is.
The parting is quiet, just waves exchanged. And then years later, Arjun reflects.
What's the update?
His court case. Still pending.
Of course it is.
Meera's scholarship. It was approved. Years after she'd already graduated.
Oh, the irony. The system finally catches up way too late.
Exactly. But their love. He says it's still alive, still messy, but stubborn enough to survive the bureaucracy of life.
That's really, and it sums up the core message, I think.
Go so.
Well, the narrative just powerfully shows that even when you're facing these massive systemic challenges, endless queues, bureaucracy, corruption, surveillance, all of it, human connection, individual resilience, and this stubborn kind of hope. They don't just survive, they can actually flourish.
Finding agency even when it seems impossible.
Exactly.
So what's the takeaway for you, the listener? I think this story is just a powerful reminder. We might feel trapped by systems sometimes.
Often.
But our own personal stories, our resilience, our connections, they are vital. They're acts of living, really.
It's about finding those small acts of rebellion, those moments of humanity within the big messy machine of life.
Perfectly put. And we'll leave you with one last thought, straight from the book itself.
Okay.
In this country, happy endings don't arrive sealed by the court. We scribble them ourselves on scrap paper while waiting in line.